In the last few years, a quiet revolution has swept through the realm of women's health, and it's happening right in the middle of our lives: menopause. Melinda French Gates has called it a menopause revolution, and it's becoming a headline across Hollywood. Olivia Bulan-Mactador, Olga, and Penelope Cruz are talking perimenopause on magazine covers. Halle Berry and Kate Winslet are pushing hormonal therapies. These aren't small celebrity sprinkles, they're a signal that menopause is shifting from a taboo to a credential, part of a fast-growing $10 billion plus market that's largely untapped, with little top-down competition. Philanthropy and private equity are pouring resources into research and product development, betting that menopause will be the next wave in women's consumer economy. Why is this a game changer? Most women spend roughly a third of their lives after their reproductive years are over. Historically, the medical system has treated women as either pregnant or invisible, so the needs of those over 50 have been largely ignored. The result is an underdiagnosed, undertreated cohort, one that discovers their value only when doctors finally listen. The shift we're seeing is one of visibility and agency, with a new generation refusing to be relegated to the sidelines. Millennials, the eldest among them now entering or nearing their menopause edges, are far better educated, wealthier, and more autonomous than their foremothers. They're not content to settle for the status quo, they're demanding better care. This insistent insistence is influencing the entire system, nudging doctors toward more proactive management and encouraging women to open up about symptoms. But the progress is uneven. Across the board, the majority of women dealing with menopausal symptoms never receive any medical intervention. And those disparities widen along racial lines. Hispanic and Black women, who often start menopause earlier and suffer more severe health consequences like fibroids, are the least likely to receive support for their symptoms. The system's bias is making the most vulnerable groups feel invisible even more. A WX if you might think science always answers, but for centuries women have turned to communal practices when the system fails. Community womb celebrations, healing circles that celebrate and support the transition, have grown alongside the scientific and celebrity support. At a recent punk festival called Menopunkapalooza, participants embraced both the cultural representation of menopause and the necessity of opening up about a life stage that has traditionally been shrouded in euphemisms. The feminist case for rebranding menopause is long-standing, the idea that our biology promises a life after childbearing, not just a final biological accident. A shift in narrative from a period of decline to a period of empowerment could reshape how women view their bodies and lives beyond motherhood. When society's language evolves from crone to woman of experience, the stigma begins to wear off. This is not merely a health trend, it's a cultural metamorphosis that invites producers, influencers, medical practitioners, and policymakers to collaborate. The movement is already building the next wave of support. The true test will be how effectively the system can respond to this demand in a way that confronts millions of women worldwide, especially those who have historically been left out. In closing, the menopause revolution is moving from denial to recognition. It's becoming a powerful catalyst for change in healthcare, culture, and commerce. It reminds us that every stage of life has value, and that when we share our stories, we light a path for all. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned to see how this evolving narrative will shape the future of women's health. I hope that captures the core ideas of the article.